game which I intend to check out, a free game, and no less than the Mac OS version. And I am losing my train of thought. I'm sorry, guys. Let me just take a second and get a sip of water. All right. I will say to the new Raiders, I have a bit of a problem with games like this because I definitely notice a decline in the commentary that I give around the 4 hour mark, which we are about 13 minutes away from. And I actually was planning on finishing streaming about 45 minutes ago. So I may not be doing this for long, but I will do my best to show you why Shadowrun is a great game, and more importantly, why it's really fun to narrate this game live. So welcome. I'm sorry it's going to be a bit of a brief stay for you, but I do commit to hosting somebody else to carry you on to your Twitch journey. But before anything else, I will stop yammering about not unrelated things, and we will get through as much dialogue as we can, maybe start another mission. Right, you know, omens, harbingers of doom and gloom and bad things to come. Her mouth twists to the side as she thinks. Just a minute. Crafty opens a drawer behind the counter and brings out a dictionary, clears her throat. Omen, a sign that warns of future events by way of visionary creatures or hallucinations. She closes the book with a thump. What causes them? Apparently, these sorts of portents are commonly aligned with malign places and disaster sites. They're caused by a leakage through wounds between our world and the astral plane. What's causing these wounds? Can we stop it? I'm not sure that we can. At least I haven't found anything in my mother's texts yet. She lays a hand out flat on the countertop and leans forward. I don't want to dive into this haphazardly, 71. Remember, these omens can be dangerous. How are they dangerous? She holds up a finger and starts digging around another small text. After a moment, she locates a small notepad and flips to a dog-eared page. It says here that these visions, or dreams or whatever you want to call them, are real. They're open to interpretation, but interpreting them incorrectly can be disastrous. Astral space is a place of dream logic. Taking things you see too literally can be even more dangerous than ignoring them. Sounds like the best outcome would be for us to interpret a dream correctly. Using that term loosely, yes, but there's no real correct way to interpret a dream, and it's difficult to separate the nonsense from the substance. Can you interpret the dreams? Crafty plugs in a notepad at the top of a nearby book tower. I can't help you interpret your dreams, whatever they're trying to impart. It's beyond me. All I do is keep reading. There has to be something in this library that can help us understand what's happening. We're already making strides. Thanks, Crafty. I do my best. She smiles tiredly, the bags under her eyes exaggerated by the gesture. Let's have a look at your wares. Yeah, sorry for the silence there, Dust Talk. Shadowrun Returns I liked. It's a good... I think it's one of the best translations of the what I know of the tabletop game, at least, to PC. But I will definitely say that game was completely eclipsed by Shadowrun Dragonfall. The story is larger. It's just enormous in scope. The characters are wonderful. In fact, one of the side missions is almost better than the story itself, and that is a testament to the side mission, because the full story, I think, is great. So if you like this kind of stuff, I think watching playing through Shadowrun Returns, you've got something great to look forward to in Shadowrun Dragonfall. And of course, playing Shadowrun Dragonfall, the tremendous enjoyment that I had doing that was, it was just, it was the reason I helped the Kickstarter on this one, and why we made a special stream for the day it was released. So, all right, I've got precious little time left, so let's start by getting sleep. The one thing I will say, Dust Talk, if you intend to play Dragonfall, I recommend to do Shadowrun Returns first, because it's not a bad game by any means, But I feel like if you go from Dragonfall to Returns, then you're you're gonna kind of feel a bit let down. I feel like. So. You awake with a start. Once again, you're tangled in your sheets, drenched in sweat. Your throat feels like it's on fire. You can't remember what your dreams were about, not precisely, but again, you feel that yearning sensation, the emptiness in your gut and in your chest. Your head throbbing, you heave yourself out of bed. So I think we'll do the BBS first, and then we'll talk to the characters. Your workstation and mission computer. The cool blue tones of the workstation's main menu fill the screen. A blinking message in the upper right-hand corner notifies you that you have 2 unread messages. From Kindly Cheng to 71. Urgent task. Little Burns have been whispering in my ear about an urgent and high-paying run. Steel Arm Lu, a red Pole, managed to get his hands on information concerning a prototype laser weapon in the development of Ares Asia Holdings. For years, the Yellow Lotus and the Red Dragon have been locked in a Cold War. Despite this, we remain evenly matched. Neither one of us can attack the other without being exposed to devastating reprisals. Lu wants to change this, and he has a plan. Rather than strike directly, Lu intends to aim external forces at the Red Dragon, specifically Knight Errant. He intends to frame a white paper fan named Golden Fong and make it appear that the Red Dragon had been bribing Ares researchers for classified data. 2 leading drone and energy weapons researchers have recently transferred from London to Hong Kong, and they are running the project. Doctors Taylor and Hardingham are respected in Europe, but in Hong Kong they remain unknown quantities. They're untrusted and therefore considered untrustworthy. Perfect targets, in other words. We'll provide data that will make it good if the researchers were contacted by the Golden Fong and made quite a bit of money, but grew tired of the arrangement. Transfer the attached files to a data chip. The files are bundled with a worm program which will auto-execute when inserted to the appropriate systems. You need not bring a Decker, though one will be helpful. Or may be helpful. You will need to plant the data in the visitor record system, the camera systems in Hardingham and Taylor's lab. Financial data is to be transferred to Dr. Taylor's personal terminal. That in and of itself will not be enough to ensure Knight Errant involvement, however. Planting data is only the first part of your task. This is where a heavier touch will be required. You will also need to steal the prototype laser weapon. There's a GPS tracking device attached to it, which Lu will plant deep in Red Dragon territory. The apparent theft of the prototype weapon by a disgruntled Triad member should convince Ares to dispatch overwhelming force against the Red Dragon, dealing them a vicious blow. As a note, Lu does not care what becomes of the laser weapon. If you wish to sell it or keep it, feel free. I've also attached a map of your extraction route from the building. During the facility's expansion in 2052, Ares Asia was forced to extend their foundations deeper into the island. They drove piles to the former site at the central MTR station, which partially collapsed during the Dalu Bay earthquake of 2044. Practically, this means that you can exit through the basement directly onto the new MTR line through Central. With any luck, you can be gone without anyone knowing how. Unfortunately, this route is heavily alarmed, so you'll be forced to go through the front door. If you can con the front desk, you should have no problems. The facility is both an office and a residence, so strange people coming in and out at odd hours is not unusual. If you're not up to fast talk, however, be prepared to shoot your way in. Lu does not care if you are loud or quiet, but a word of caution. He came by all this information via the loose lips of one of the research team. Other fixers know of this job. Move fast and you are guaranteed success, but there are definitely other Shadowrunners with an eye on your prize. Well, we've got the run. Very well. Steel Arm Lu sends his regard and bids you good fortune and plentiful ammunition. The dramatic git. Don't die, 71. Our range has been very profitable so far, and I would hate to lose that. Restaurant job. One of the things I've learned over the years is that even the rich and powerful have annoyances. Thorns in their side, if you will. No one is without troubles. The rich just have different ways of solving them. The client for this run has grown tired of one particular thorn in his side. Chungxing Rooster Lo. Lo is a red pole for one of the smaller triads here in Hong Kong. The 289s, or the Easy Money Gang, if you prefer. Despite the 289's small stature, Lo's illegal activities have managed to damage the client's profits. Mr. Johnson would like you to help him show Lo the errors of his ways. Lo takes an evening every few months to dine at the Shangri-La restaurant in Aberdeen. If you aren't aware, the Shangri-La is an elite establishment serving primarily corporate clientele from Wujing Incorporated. Because of this, it's not unusual for diners to bring bodyguards or assistants with them. In Lo's case, he brings a particularly brutish enforcer known as the Talon, who undoubtedly feels well protected. You are going to prove just how wrong he is in this regard. You were to kidnap Rooster Lowe. As long as he is alive and in relatively good health, all options are on the table. While keeping the run quiet would make things easier for Mr. Johnson, no one will shed too many tears over a few dead Triad thugs. The client has arranged to exit via boat. So long as you can get Lowe from the interior of the restaurant's dock, the client will handle everything else. Despite being a red pole, Lowe is a tactician, not a fighter. Don't expect him to put up that much of a fight. The Talon, on the other hand, is as nasty as they come. Be careful about how you confront him, or things may go very badly. We'll go back for that one just because we have already picked our run. Yeah, so we've got 4 others. Access the Shadowland BBS. Do I have pay data? Nope. My god. There's no way I'm gonna get through all this in time. Well, you know what? We'll do this and that'll be it. This newscast just aired. If anyone wants to watch real-time isobar data on Earthstat images of the storm, the basic service paywall on Skywatcher imagery is easily circumvented. White Prism. The Imperial Japanese Meteorological Agency today issued an advanced typhoon warning for the northern Philippines and the coast of Guangdong Confederation as Storm Usagi has grown to full-strength typhoon, Category 3, in the Pacific. Typhoon Usagi is found late in the year for such a powerful storm. Meteorologists credit the growing trend of awakened cold season typhoons to global warming and powerful magic vortices in the eastern Pacific, which appears to help drive moist air convective over cooler ocean waters. The newscaster looks down at her notes. According to the official release by Lance Inroki of the IJMA, Usagi is now identified as an awakened storm. We have observed strong lightning activity, electromagnetic anomalies, and extreme concentrations of awakened seabirds along its edges. Awakened storms exhibit anomalous physical and magical behavior. Many experts believe that they show reactive intelligence, possibly even self-awareness, and will resist making landfall to prolong their lives, even holding position against prevailing winds. Study of these storms is inhibited by their extreme environmental conditions and astral turbulence. In physical strength, Usagi may peak as a violent typhoon, Category 5 on the Eastern Pacific scale, but will weaken substantially before making landfall. Although mariner lore is replete with tales of malicious storms, scientists have detected no provable animosity towards metahumans in the behavior of these miracles of nature. Learn more on Wild Storms of the Pacific this week's episode of Savage Nature with host Bertrand Madeniker. Jesus, this is tough to read. Or I'm just tired. The Guangdong coast will likely have a precursor battening, with drenching rains and moderate winds as Usagi stalls offshore. Usagi is one of the most powerful storms of the seasons, but it is not unusual. Usagi does not have a super typhoon potential. This is going to be perfect. A long, soft hit by Usagi. Lots of electromag interference. Security and cops tied up. It's running season. Blood Meridian. I hope everybody's ready for the high operational tempo. Our fixer is already scrambling for crews. I heart storms. Hatch. No more posts in this thread. Alright guys, I know I said I was going to do the rest of the data, but I actually seem, again, I don't want to be too focused on this stuff, but I do actually seem to have a fairly big drop off in views, and I am actually quite tired. I'm not going to be able to do this dialogue well, so I'll take a minute to look up some streams for those of you who are still here, and wrap up the evening. I want to take a minute and say thank you, everybody. I know we're just coming off of PAX, and I streamed probably about 2 hours later than I normally wanted to, so we had an extremely healthy turnout tonight for all of those defects. And we got more Shadowrun played. I'm kind of at the point now, especially if we consider I really only just finished one run tonight. But the story elements were absolutely worth every minute of it. I think I'm hitting that tipping point that I hit with Shadowrun Dragonfall. I'm sorry for all the weird menu stuff. Maybe I can hit escape here. Actually, let's just save and we'll go to the main menu so we can get some nice music. Not that this isn't nice, but yeah, so I think I've hit the tipping point that I hit with Shadowrun Dragonfall, which was kind of the point where I started playing very regularly. My interest was enough that I'd keep sustained. So again, it's a little bit of a slow start and something that definitely pays off. The writing for this is fantastic. The ability to read the dialogue is rewarding as well. And I'm really glad that I get a chance to share it with you guys. So To the people who are new, thank you very much for hanging out and giving me a chance tonight. For those of you who are familiar with the game, who are familiar with me as a streamer, thank you as always for being such a fantastic audience. We had 4 great hosts tonight: Paula Tacos, Rithonier, Platinum Hamster, and Ewok Fuzzy Nuts. As you can see, all great people, all definitely worthy of checking out. And Dust Talk, thank you very much for saying that. I'm sorry to make it so brief for you, but I am not doing anything worthwhile. And why is nobody streaming tonight? Give me a second, guys. Nobody I'm following is streaming right now, but I'd really like to try and find somebody to host. But yeah, Dust Talk, I'll take a minute and thank you particularly. I always, I try not to be too numbers focused, but I will say that getting at least a follower a night kind of lets me know that I did at least one thing right, even if it's just knowing the right person. So having an opportunity to get to have you in chat and to get to meet you was definitely worth it. So I really appreciate you stopping by and showing that support. All right, I was gonna try and bring up the video. I don't seem to be able to load up any more channels. So what can I do? I'm gonna try one more thing. I've kind of wrecked any chance of doing a good host for you guys, but let me just see. I'll try one more thing. Oh, I know. This is somebody who normally streams with W. Shan, so he doesn't actually know me. But I'm gonna host Ravenheart tonight. He's somebody, I don't know why I didn't follow him, actually. He's good. He's playing Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, so I've not actually seen a Metal Gear Solid game other than... Sorry, I've seen the original Metal Gear Solid, but I haven't seen any of the other more recent ones streamed. So this is going to be new for me, and if you guys are looking for some more entertainment tonight, I think Ravenheart is the man to supply for us. So thanks a lot. Oh, great. Let me just turn off my notifications again. As always, guys, thank you very much for being such a great audience. It's always rewarding having you guys in chat, having something to talk about. I'll get a bit better at dividing the dialogue and the chat stuff. I'm done for tonight. I'm not going to be able to talk anymore. Let's give Ravenheart some love and